Charles Barkley, always kind enough to pick up the phone for us whenever we want to check in. He joins us on the Corona hotline. Waddle asked an interesting question, Chuck, as we were going to bring you on. Where are you these days? Where are you hanging out these days?
Alabama. I got a big vaccine drive coming up Saturday at Legion Field, one of the most iconic. My people ain't getting the vaccine as fast as they should, so I'm doing a big drive this weekend. So a little crazy, but I've been laying low this summer. This is the first interview that I'm actually doing.
Wow, we're honored.
No, you guys are great. I decided I needed a break mentally because it's been so crazy. The last, been stuck in the bubble last summer sucked, and then go right back into playing. So I said, hey, I told TNT, I'm not doing anything. Not that I have a minute to do unless something happens. And I said, nope, I'm taking a break. And so I'm glad to be you guys to be my first one and my last one.
Chuck, what do you tell people like in a drive like that, or our listeners who are hesitant to get it without lecturing, because people get very turned off when you tell them what to do? Waddle and I obviously are both vaccinated. I even just got my third vaccine because I'm still immune compromised. My oncologist told me to get it. So what do you tell people who are hesitant in our audience?
Don't be selfish. It's not just about them. I mean, I'm getting the vaccine just in case some kid run up to me and ask for an autograph or a picture. The people around you. I mean, if you're going to work every day, you're around people. I mean, I listen. I told people, I say, I'm not going to try to lecture you and act like I'm got all the answers, but to me, it's just the right thing to do. I mean, you got all these nurses and doctors out there risking their health because we got so many people inundated at the hospitals around the country. Alabama, we're like last in the country getting the vaccine, which is silly. I'm like, guys, and I heard a great line on television last night. Everybody said we all have individual choices. The vaccine is not about you as an individual. It's about you helping the people around you not get the virus. So that's what I would tell them. Hey, don't do it just for you. You ain't the only one living here, fool. There's other people around you.
And it can protect you. I haven't said anything to anybody yet, but I unfortunately have to go back to Cincinnati tomorrow for a funeral for a close friend and former high school teammate that passed away from COVID pneumonia last Wednesday, and he was not vaccinated. So
I did. I buried one. We had two people. A guy I played with in high school passed away of it like 2 or 3 months ago, and then we lost a coworker at Turner, Sekou Smith. He had the virus. So two people really close to me. But like I say, listen, I understand. I'm from Alabama, so I understand the Tuskegee experiment, which was an awful thing. But listen, some of the stuff going on now, I wish people would be like, hey, you know what? I don't really want to get the vaccine, but I'm going to do it for the people around me. I mean, no, I'm sick of wearing the mask. Mm-hmm. I'm sick of being, like last year, it was like hotel game. I'm like, are you kidding me? I can't even get my drink on. I was like, come on, man. So I wish everybody would get the vaccine. And cause like I say, man, and to me, it's selfish because you think of, number one, think about how many people who died. You think about that first. But think about how many people have lost their livelihood, their businesses, their homes, and then like, I want to be able to go to restaurants again because all these people who own restaurants, they're clearly struggling in the last couple of years. So don't think about getting a vaccine just for yourself. Just have some humanity toward other people.
How difficult was this past NBA season, Charles, after coming off the abbreviated season of the year before? And was it obvious? Was it on display how difficult it was for the guys on the floor? Because so many guys were hurt when the postseason came around.
Yeah, your body needs that rest. Especially the team, the great players who, make it deep. I don't think people understand the playoffs are like a 2-month journey. So if your team's no good, yeah, you get 2 months vacation. But if you put some of our stars who got hurt, You go back and look at them. They've been playing in the playoffs every year for the last 4 or 5 years. So playing basketball for an extra 2 months every year, but also not getting that break you've gotten every year of your life, there had to be a cumulative effect on their bodies. So listen, I told the guys they should play because they want to get paid. I'm not going. That's another thing. I think as jocks, I'm glad you brought that. As jocks, we should definitely get the vaccination, and I'm gonna tell you why. I think it's selfish if we don't get it, because if you look at the world, think about the whole world. Who are the only people who have never missed a paycheck? Professional athletes. Think about that. Everybody's been laid off or fired. Jocks have been paid every single dime they have been owed. And I think so we should be setting the example. I mean, like I say, I can't even imagine what it's like not to have money. Think about it. People who work in the stands. They lost all their money.
Right.
People out here, these restaurants, all are closing, businesses are closing, but the only people who have gotten every single dime that they earned, number one, they earned it, are jocks. So I think we should be at the forefront of trying to help get this thing back to normalcy instead of having a couple of idiots talking about, well, I don't want to get the vaccine. It ain't just about you, fool. It's about everybody. We're in this thing together.
I like it. Like only you can. Just say Charles Barkley joining us. It's Waddle and Silvy on ESPN 1000. I remember the disappointment in my face last year when you told me the Bulls aren't that good. And I thought they would be better. We were excited because we got new leadership in the front office and early on they were okay, but then they turned into the usual Bulls. Now they got DeMar DeRozan. Now they got Lonzo Ball. They added Vooch last season. Do you think that our Bulls are a legit, at least playoff team now?
I'll be totally shocked if they don't make the playoffs. And I'm not just saying this. I think the Bulls, the Lakers getting Russell Westbrook, that's a different animal because I love that kid's energy and I love everything about West. But I think it's fair to say the Chicago Bulls have had the best offseason in the NBA. And I'm not just blowing smoke up you guys because your guys, I'm always be a straight shooter with you.
Right.
I'll be totally shocked if the Bulls don't make the playoffs. I will be, because I think they've added enough. They're deep. But I'm telling you, I thought they had the best offseason of any NBA team.
Chuck, how much will Zach benefit from having a true point guard on the floor in Lonzo Ball?
I think it's going to help him immensely. Number one, I think he's probably going to get two lobs a game from Lonzo, but also, because he's a scorer, and that's not a negative thing. He's not going to pass the ball to other guys to get them going. That's just not his game. So I think having Alonzo with him on the court is going to be a nice addition. Now they got to figure out how to play him and DeMar together. Because listen, they can't send a bunch of those little dudes out there and think they're gonna win and just out 3-point shooting people. But it's a nice problem to have. But I thought they had a great offseason.
You mentioned the Lakers. LeBron has been collecting receipts, as people like to say these days. And he feels slighted that no one mentioned him as the best player in the world. Does he have a point?
Well, he's not the best player in the world. And listen, man, I'm so glad. I hope you guys don't talk about LeBron every single day like these other idiots on television, please.
No.
These when do we get to the point where every jackass and fool on TV every day has to read a tweet and talk about it for the rest of the week? LeBron's not the best player. To me, it's a toss-up between Kevin Durant and Giannis. In my opinion, those two guys are probably 1 and 1A. And then he gets mad because, first of all, they do have a bunch of old geezers on their team. And number one, he's one of them. And so I don't understand why he has to tweak. That's what I tell you. One thing I really love in this summer is Giannis ain't saying a word, because I think he got a taste of what it's like to be the man. And now he could just add to his legacy. So I love the fact that he ain't said nothing this summer. He let all these guys tweet and Kevin Durant doing his talking and all these other guys. And he just like, yeah, I got the trophy. I'll see y'all when the season starts. I'm going to be ready again. So I'm really pumped the way that's going. But if I had a vote, it'd be KD or Giannis would be the best. But, listen, you don't get to keep the best player until you die. It's like, wait. You guys, hey, come on, man. You don't get to keep the thing until you die. You pass the torch. It always goes to the next guy. It went for during my generation. It went back and forth between Bird and Magic. Then Michael took it, and he kept it for a long time. Then he got older, and then it went to Kobe. Then it went to LeBron. And probably I don't want to leave out Tim Duncan either. But it always passes.
Yeah, and KD's so good. I don't know. Did you see the Draymond KD conversation? It was on Draymond's show that he does on Bleacher Report. I think it's called Chips. They were bitching that the way things got broken up in Golden State was because of Steve Kerr and Bob Myers. Do you blame the two players or do you blame the front office and coach?
It's been very frustrating the last couple of weeks watching this junk. I'm like, what are we, the young and the freaking restless now? Are we a soap opera thing? Like, dude, y'all got to fighting. It's no big deal. KD want to move on. All this extracurricular stuff is just annoying. It's just really annoying, in my opinion. I'm like, and that's the thing. We got these idiots and fools and jackasses on TV every day that every time somebody say something, they've got to give their hot take on it and go back and forth. I'm like, dude, I'm on the treadmill. I want entertainment. I'm trying to learn out about sports. But if y'all just going to talk about what somebody tweet every day, I've got to find something else to do on the treadmill. I mean, because like I say, I'm trying to get in shape, and I usually can watch television because I want to catch up. First of all, your White Sox are balling right now.
Yes, yeah.
How about that?
They are. I'm a man, Tony Russo. I'm happy for him. I said him, he's a good friend. I sent him a text and told him I can't wait to see you guys in the playoffs. And y'all the official station now, huh?
Right.
Yes.
Did you are you worried when you text him that he's taking a nap?
Wow. That's
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Says the guy that's about to turn 50 years of age over there.
Hey, listen, that was funny.
It was.
But you better stay off my guy.
No chance of that, Chuck.
Hey, I tell you what, man, they got that lineup ever since Lord came back.
Wow, you're paying attention. You know what?
How much White Sox baseball are you watching these days, Chuck?
I probably watched him 10 to 15 times.
All right.
Wow.
Like I say, me and Tony have been friends for a long time. I'm a fan of his. He's been a friend, but I'm a fan. So, and then you got, so I'm like, okay, let me check on how my guys are doing. And they had a bunch of injuries, but they've been balling.
Charles, were you surprised that Tony, he'd been out of the game for 10, 11 years, or maybe even longer than that. Were you surprised he decided to get back in the dugout?
I was very surprised. But if you're going to come back, you come to a team got all them guys on it.
Yeah, he wasn't going to the Orioles for crying out loud.
No, you're not going to the Cubs. Let's don't leave the Cubs out.
Yeah, that one stings.
That does hurt me. All right, hang in there. We want to ask you a couple more questions. I want to know what the heck Scottie's doing.
Yeah.
We want to know what you feel about our quarterback. You love our White Sox.
And can we get you to Vegas for the Raiders-Bears game? We got to get to that too.
Yeah, it's all coming up with Charles Barkley next.
You're listening to Waddle and Silvy on ESPN 1000, Chicago's home for sports. Cap and J Hood.
Dante's next.
This is the first time ever I've cut on the Madden game that I did not trade my quarterback. I didn't go to another.
Did you miss something?
This is going to be one of the most exciting seasons ever.
Cap and J Hood.
I'm going to continue to listen to you every single day, Monday through Friday, 7 to 10.
On ESPN 1000.
And the ESPN Chicago app.
Guys, football's almost here. It is time to download that DraftKings app, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. It's where Waddle and I both play. The season is here. DraftKings is your one-stop shop to make it rain all season long. We'll bring you even closer to the action as DraftKings is giving all new players a free shot at $1 million during week one. If you haven't tried DraftKings yet, preseason football is the perfect time to test your strategy. We got one more week. Pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, see how your team stacks up against the competition. Nothing adds to the excitement like watching a game with something on the line from DraftKings. Download the DraftKings app right now. Use our promo code WMVP. It's WMVP. It's for a limited time. New players can get a free shot at $1 million during week one. Don't miss out on all the action. Enter code WMVP to get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes with your first deposit. It's code WMVP, only at DraftKings, the official fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Hey, Rachel, I have to tell you, I've had a crush.
Crushworthy low-cal citrus sweet from Great Lakes Brewing Company? Oh, yeah. Don't you love those dreamy citrus flavors?
Yeah, no, a crush.
Crushworthy. Yeah, and with only 105 calories, it's crafted to never weigh me down.
I'm in love.
With this beer? Wow, we're so on the same page. Best friends forever.
Say hello to your new main squeeze. Crushworthy low-cal citrus sweet. Available everywhere our beers are sold. Great Lakes Brewing Company, Cleveland, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Okay, she's right. This is good enough to be crushworthy.
From lines of credit in Chicagoland to equipment finance loans in the Quad Cities to better cash flow in Milwaukee, First Midwest Bank is committed to using our local knowledge and ideas to help our clients get their business momentum back. Visit wehaveideas.firstmidwest.com. You have plans, we have ideas. First Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Goodyear believes in the power of moving forward. No matter if it's on the track, the court, or the field, movement makes us want to be more. It pushes us to go further, to show the world what we can do. Movement has the unique ability to change our perspective, to challenge us, to work for a better tomorrow. Movement can even bring us together when we're still. Because if we're focused on the next move, we don't have to worry about what's behind us. Goodyear, more driven.
This is the sound of achieving more, and you better get used to it. The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3 5G gives you the upper hand with a phone that unfolds into a tablet. Open select apps side by side to search, stream, and share it all at once. Or go totally hands-free for video calls, selfies, and group shots. Pre-order Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3 5G today and get $200 in Samsung.com credit. Are you ready? Valid through 8/26 while supplies last at select retailers. See additional terms and conditions at Samsung.com.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, banking with Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. And with our top-rated app, you can bank anytime, anywhere, making Capital One an even easier decision.
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
New consumer accounts only. Approval required. Terms apply. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up? We can help you get started. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Castrol GTX and an STP oil filter, plus an STP air filter or cabin air filter for just $34.99. And you can get it all fast, your way. Just order online with our free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply.
Chicago's home for sports is on Twitch. Follow ESPN 1000 Chicago today.
You're listening to Waddle and Silvy on ESPN 1000, Chicago's home for sports.
It was so refreshing to hear Chuck out of the blue, like ranting about all the lazy sort of media coverage about covering tweets and everything like that and all the soap opera-y stuff. And then he just randomly brings up the White Sox and then mentions Eloy Jimenez. The White Sox have heard that and they reached out. And Charles, as you rejoin us, someone very, very high up in the White Sox texted me saying, first pitch for Barkley for a Sox home playoff game. Make it happen.
I'm pretty sure you can count me in. Hey, let me tell you something. And I text Tony after the game, that Field of Dreams thing was arguably one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
It was amazing, wasn't it? Like it's so refreshing.
You know, first of all, even if it had been whatever game it was still amazing. But to come down to the last inning between the Yankees and the White Sox, one of the coolest things I've ever experienced. Because I'm a big fan of the Winter Classic.
Yeah.
I watch the Winter Classic every year. It's so awesome, and I love it. But, man, that Field of Dreams thing, and let me tell you something. Nobody want to see the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, come on. Or the Cubs. Yeah, I know.
No, hey, listen. In 3 years, when the Cubs are competitive, we want the Cubs in that, but we don't want the Cubs right now.
Right.
That's a good point. Hey, Charles, I agree with everything you said. I mean, visually, it was such a great presentation. And this is a random question, but we have a really good relationship with Joe Buck. We like Joe Buck. We think Joe Buck is really good at his job. A lot of people don't like Joe Buck. Do you know Joe Buck, and what do you think of Joe Buck?
I think he's great. I think he's also, but you know, listen, I'm from Alabama, so I deal with Vern Lundquist and Gary Danielson, two of the best guys I've ever worked with.
Yes.
You know, I've never worked with Gary, but I worked with Vern doing March Madness. And, you know, when I'm in Alabama, I love talking to Alabama and Auburn fans. They both think Gary Danielson and Vern Lundquist hate them. Both do. And I'm like, I can especially national reporters. Now, the home reporters, they're all kiss-ups, and they ain't never going to say anything bad about the home team. But I've been in this thing for 20 years. National announcers don't care who wins any game at all. But fans hear what they want to hear. Like, I've asked them, I said, well, what did Gary or Vern say? Well, they just hate Auburn. I said, first of all, they don't hate Auburn. If Auburn's not doing good, I said, the way TV works, if you're doing good, we talk good about you. If you're doing bad, we talk bad about you. This is not rocket science. If your team is good, we brag on you.
Yeah.
When they do stupid stuff, we talk about you. Joe Buck is great at his job.
Yeah. Let me tell you real quick. Sylvie knows this story. This is the stupidest story I can tell you
from
about.
the Masters.
Yes, that I have such an affinity for Vern. I love Vern. I love his football call. I loved him at the Masters. Chuck, I'm at Augusta. I got an opportunity to go. I was very fortunate. I'm with my brother, and we're at the base of the 18th. His booth at the pole. And I said to my brother, I'm going to climb the pole and go upstairs and say hi to Vern Lundquist. And my brother says, no, you're not, because you're going to get arrested. I almost climbed the pole on the 16th hole to go up and say hi to Vern because I like him so much.
Hey, listen, I've got to know him and Beer Raftery I think we've been doing college basketball like 7 years. Nobody in life is complete until you go out drinking with Vern and Beer Raftery. It is arguably one of the coolest things we do it like once a year. And number one, it takes me a day or two to recover.
I was going to say, nobody can physically hang with Raftery, can they?
Wow.
But hey, him and Vern are the two best dudes ever to hang with. I want to do it for the rest of my life. I want to do that with those guys. They are the best two dudes ever.
Yeah, yeah. And so we have your buddy Michael Wilbon on at 5, and we've asked you this before. I mean, we're asking you to do this and to do that, but we floated this out to you. The Bears and Raiders are playing October 10th, right before the NBA season starts in Vegas, and it could be Justin Fields' first start. We're still trying to plan that Friday broadcast before the game. Would you still be willing to see a little Justin Fields Bears football?
Wait, I'm coming to see Andy Dalton, man.
I hope not. Why? The Red Rifle?
Wait, y'all really want Fields to start right now?
Sort of, yes. We're excited.
Why? You're excited for what?
Well, a lot of people think that the best player deserves to start, and a lot of people believe he's way better than Andy Dalton.
Well, he's never played a game. How could he be better than Andy Dalton?
Because Andy Dalton's just okay, and Justin Fields is super athletic with a great arm and a smart kid.
You know what? You sound like a guy in the NBA now, and we keep drafting all these kids who can run and jump, who ain't got no idea how to play basketball. And it's so frustrating for me. Like, listen, I think Justin Fields got a great future. But listen, I don't like throwing first of all, it's so funny how crazy and stupid some of these morning TV shows are. I was talking to Peyton Manning, and I was thinking about, can you imagine if the number one pick in the draft went 1-15, how they would be killed today? I mean, think about that. Like, I was watching Peyton's Hall of Fame speech, and I was thinking about, Jimmy Johnson. He was talking about, we went 1-15. Can you imagine what all these idiots and fools we got on television today? If the number one pick in the draft went 1-15, how it would be like 15, 16 weeks, now 17 weeks of craziness in the morning. Can you imagine that?
I think Troy Aikman did the same thing. Troy Aikman, I mean, very few guys can come back from a rookie season where you experience that much failure.
Well, yeah, because now they won't let you come back. Listen, halfway through the season after 1 year, you're a bust now. I think it's so unfair. I think it's like, now they're talking about, I'm feeling bad for Trevor Lawrence. I'm like, the team ain't going to be no good. And we're going to have to hear all year, was he worth the number one pick? Should they have taken, especially if Justin Fields, my boy up in New England's having a good year. We're going to have to hear that every day from these idiots on television. It drives me crazy.
By the way, Urban Meyer looked like he was a man who regretted a decision that he just made on television when they were playing the game against the Saints the other night. Well, he looked like he was like, maybe I shouldn't have come back and coached.
Well, it's like Troy Aikman's one of the best ever. Eli Manning one of the best ever. You just can't plug in one player and have a good team, especially not in the pros. I tell people in the pros, I said, you hear people all the time talking about NBA players. I said, you guys do know 10, 11, and 12 are terrific players. Now, they're not as good as the first 8, but 9, 10, 11, 12 were really, really good college players. Now, in the NFL, there's no bad players. Now, are they as good as Aaron or Tom or somebody like that? But, like, every team has a bunch of really good players. So this notion, he's not going to be playing, I'm not going to say Northwestern because Mike Wilbon will kill me. He's not playing Illinois.
There you go.
No disrespect to Illinois. But they're not playing Illinois. They're not playing any directional schools. I think everybody they play probably this year going to have a better team than Jacksonville. So it's going to be an adjustment for Urban.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot on his plate. Because, man, one thing about, the pros are no joke. It's hard to win in the pros. I mean, you guys got Khalil Mack. Y'all defense is one of the 3 or 4 best in the league.
Man, we don't know. We hope. We're not.
What do you mean?
Well, we're not sure. They weren't great last year. They forgot to tackle. They didn't sack the quarterback.
So let's get back to the most important question. Will you join us in Vegas to watch Andy Dalton?
I need to get my I've tried. Listen, hey man, I'm telling you. First of all you have to do is say Vegas, and you got my attention. That's all you got to do. Listen. I am so pumped to bet on football again.
Yeah.
I'm like a fat kid at a buffet. I haven't been able to eat, and I cannot wait to get on the phone with my bookie. And it starts this weekend too. College football.
It's amazing. Yeah, I love it. A couple of really quick things. Scottie Pippen, like 6 weeks ago, I could not believe some of the stuff that he was saying, going after Phil, saying that Phil is racist, going after Michael, about the last shot with 1.8 seconds. Scottie well. What was he doing? What's he thinking?
I feel bad that he's trying to plug a book and a bourbon, apparently. And, I didn't even respond when he came out to me. Clearly he was going big game hunting. I mean, if you go after me, Michael and Phil, not that I'm on their level, clearly if you said something about me, it's going to make headway. But I just kind of felt bad. I'm like, Scottie, I've always liked you. You're a good player. We ain't never got to fighting. We ain't never had no bad words. All of a sudden, I'm a bad guy because you got a book and a bourbon coming out. I just kind of felt sad. You know what I felt like? When I'm watching TV and I'm seeing somebody who's like gonna box. And I'm like, yo, man, you didn't save your money. You got to do anything. You got to go ahead and get punched in the head to try to make some money. Like, this is crazy. I mean, you got guys who should have saved their money, and you're like, wait, you're boxing now? You're that desperate for money? So I was like, come on, man.
Like, he questioned your toughness, right? Wasn't that what it was about? It was about, like,
let me just say this. Hey. Let me just say this. I might not be the toughest guy in the world, but I'm damn sure tougher than Scottie Pippen. Let's get that out the way now. Hey, listen, I don't walk around saying I'm Billy Badass, but I can promise you one thing. I'm tougher than Scottie Pippen. Let me put that to rest right now.
We could set up the ring.
I might not be the toughest guy in the world, but I'm damn sure tougher than Scottie Pippen.
It sounds like a boxing
in
match.
Vegas before the Bears play the Raiders
Come on,
at the Caesars Pool.
Hey, I was just telling you, I don't need the money. Maybe Scotty does. If Scotty, no, I'm not going to say it. You know, some fool will book that fight.
My wheels are already turning. I'm thinking about how can I get this to go.
Hey, like I say, I'm not no fake tough guy. I don't pretend to be a tough guy, but I am tougher than Scottie Pippen. I can damn sure promise you that.
Have you? By the way, speaking of tough, have you seen these people climbing up these milk crates these days in the milk crate challenge?
You mean these damn idiots and fools?
I just saw one when a guy broke his wrist, and they showed it was a compound fracture, and I almost threw up.
When did we get to the point? You know, I'm anti-social media. I've never done any social media. When did we get to the point as a country where let's just film yourself doing something stupid, and there's a place to put it? Like, when did we get that bad as a country?
Chuck,
we just say, let's just do something stupid, and let's film it, and I'm gonna get some. Is it likes or views? What is it?
Well, listen, there was a whole series of movies, Jackass 1, Jackass 2, Jackass 10. I mean, every year they bring one out of it. That was what it was.
Yeah, it's gotten worse, man. And it's sad, too, because you know what's going to happen? I saw like 3 times last year, people got killed on unveiling their baby's thing. And I'm like, if you're doing something dangerous to tell people you're having a boy or girl, if something bad happened to you, I hate to say it, do it, but you deserve it for being a damn idiot.
So just because I want to make sure we got this right, you're tougher than Scottie Pippen.
I'm tougher than Scottie Pippen. I'm a fake tough guy, but I'm tougher than Scottie Pippen. I can promise you that.
Okay.
You are the best. We always love talking to you. It's always so much fun. Hopefully we will see you in Vegas in October.
Hey, I'm going to try to get that because that's like, I think the season started like the 19th, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah. So it's like a full week before. You got to visit Vegas right before the season.
Right.
Well, you know why? Hey, what is the Bears futures?
It's like
7.5 or the total?
Lord. Hell no. Wait, you think the Bears gonna win 8 games?
Well, I think that's what it is, though. I think it is.
Well, your guy Andy Dalton's leading the way. You can't put some money on the Red Rifle?
I like Andy Dalton. I think he's getting a bad rap.
Oh man, you could have him.
Oh boy, I know you're a pleasure to listen to every day. You Andy Dalton, you riding home.
Oh, Chuck, you have no idea. No idea.
And stay healthy. We love you. Thank you,
Thanks,
Chuck.
Charles.
Hey, guys, thank you for having me. Be safe. Tell my boy Flom at Chicago Cut I love him, mister.
You got it. We will pass it along right now. Like, think about this. He could throw out the first pitch at a Sox game early October. We can get in one of Flom's jets, fly to Vegas for that Friday show, and we could do a whole Charles Barkley week.